We four brothers coming straight from mud, hitting the web not for clout but for purse bills. We them Night Brothers, speaking truth to the mic, shining through the struggle, bringing dark to the light. Block to your soul, let the message ignite. Podcast for the people, every word take flight. Gritty like the grind, hell first we strive. Social heat in the streets, trying to keep hope alive. 4 mics, 1 mission, make the people revive. It's the night time, tune in, feel the vibe. We 4 deep like corners on the block. Mics hot in the lab, cooking truth non-stop. No gimmicks, this ain't clickbait chatter. This heartbeat, struggling soul, blacker than batter. Got fam trying to heal, broke bills on the table. Talk health, mental wealth, if we able, we enable. From the hood to the web, we built this escape. Tired of seeing kings trapped in a lowercase fake. Click clack on the keys, we ain't just pie, we preach it. Street slang, health hacks, real talk preaching. See the system rigged, trying to cage our minds, but we cracking the code like it's Columbine. I'm the brother with the blueprint, knowledge in my stash. Turn trauma to armor, pain into cash. 1 mic, 4 voices, no filters, no mask. We ain't just streaming, we building that path. We the Night Brothers, speaking truth to the mic, shining through the struggle, bringing dark to the light. Block to your soul, let the message ignite. Podcast for the people, every word take flight. Gritty like the grind, health first we strive. Social heat in the streets, trying to keep hope alive. 4 mics, 1 mission, make the people revive. It's the nighttime, tune in, feel the vibe.
Oh yeah, 4 mics, 1 mission. Nighttime, nighttime.
I seen young blood.
Peace and love.
So, brothers.
Brothers. What's going on?
Brothers.
Peace and love, man. You know we pushing around here, man.
All right.
We got my man King in the building.
Yes, sir.
Brother Reg, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling blessed. How are you?
Man, outstanding, man. Got an interesting show tonight. Definitely an interesting show tonight, man. And this is one of those nights where breaking news has made us kind of shift on the fly. But we're going to go with it because that's what we do. You know how we roll, brother.
That's it. Flexible. Steady.
Yes, sir. Welcome, Margaret Nick. You see number 1 Stella in the house. What's up, Margaret Nick? How you doing, dear? Welcome to the show. As you come on, say hello, and we'll give you a shout out. The Night Brothers Show, the show where your opinion matters. We ask you to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, like we say, your opinion matters. So if you have questions or comments, this is the place to put them in.
Shout out to Cheryl Queen for the donation last week too. Greatly appreciate the Cash App donation and helping the show to continue on. We greatly, appreciate. Want to throw that out. You know what I mean? So.
Thank you, Miss Queen. We appreciate it. Darlene Collins in the house. What's up, DC? How you doing? Hope all is well with you.
Mm-hmm. We got a pinch hitter tonight, Mr. Reggie in here tonight in the building.
What's up, Reg?
Good evening, everyone. It's always blessed to be back on the Night Brothers Show.
Y'all welcome Reggie. It's not Kenny. Kenny still got stuff going on, Cheryl, but y'all can welcome Reggie. Reggie gonna be with us this weekend too. We'll drop that a little later, Q, about some things that we're doing this weekend. So, but all good, you know.
Hey, welcome. Definitely.
So,
welcome all.
Drop your name in the chat group as you come aboard so we can hear you. So we can see you and we can let others know that you on with us as well.
Can we give you a shout out? Give you that shout out if we let you do.
No doubt. Hey, well, let's get it popping, baby.
There you go, Reg. There you go, Reg. Got acknowledgement.
Thank you, Miss Nick.
Back, this is not Reg's first rodeo either with the Night Brothers.
No doubt.
You know, the fam know who the fam is, so
Miss Queen.
Welcome back. And his name ain't Carter. They'll figure it out later, Reg.
I just want to lay
Yeah.
no say, you know what I mean? And pontificate on life. We vibing under the city lights. Wherever the wind gon' take us. If it's good, we make it contagious. Said we vibing. Laying on black sand beaches. Thinking of what life teaches. So glad ain't fall from the deep end. Said we vibing under the city lights. Wherever the wind gon' take us. If it's good, we make
Yeah, we're vibing tonight, guys. And tonight, as some of you may have heard, we had to do a last-minute change on the fly. And our vibe number one in the social speaking segment is the U.S. stuck with this Iranian conflict or war, whatever it's called. Tonight we have breaking news on the topic, and we're going to dive deep into this, guys. And we definitely want your opinions on this because this is something that maybe you may not be interested in the conflict itself, but it has had an effect on each and every one of us, particularly to our partners. So that's vibe number one, and we're going to go with that. And secondly, if we can get to our main feature afterwards, we're going to talk about something else that's really important too, and that's we've been trying to get to this for a minute, and that's GLP-1s. We've been trying to cover that for a while now, and hopefully we'll get to that tonight as well. But back to you, Lenny. So there it is, GLP-1. Are they a lifesaver or are they a hidden danger? And we're going to talk about the plus and minuses of GLP-1s and who is really for the results of it. And let's break it down in general. And once again, we want your opinion on this. So Lenny, back to you. Let's get popping.
All right, sounds good, brother. It's all good, all good.
But as you guys pointed out, time is ticking. Iran's president this morning said 14 million volunteers are, quote, ready to die for Iran. An Iranian official is also calling on young people to form a human chain around the country's power plants. Iranian officials say this planned U.S. strike would have impacts that would last beyond Iran and could constitute a war crime. According to Politico, the Pentagon is expanding a list of energy sites it can target to include ones that provide fuel and power to both civilians and the military. That would likely provide a workaround if the administration is accused of war crimes. Israel is also threatening Iran's trails and railways, telling people to stay away from those. So there's a lot we're going to be watching today, folks.
All right, you heard the man. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay. Look, we've been steering clear of this for a long time. Matter of fact, we've been steering clear of politics altogether. We haven't really. We purposely steered clear of politics because, it's so divisive and so exhausting and so much of a drain on your mentality, on everything, on society. So we kind of like steer clear, huh, Q?
Yeah, we kind of stayed clear of it because, like you said, and Arden, I know you'd agree too, it can be, like Lenny said, it can be really draining, man. Not only physically, but emotionally, mentally. And after a while, man, that kind of stuff, that negativity can drag you down. And I don't want to get dragged down in anybody else's negative, bogged down in that stuff. So.
I'm probably on the other side. I think that, at this point in time, we definitely have a responsibility to tell and express what's transpiring and even kind of give out some things that need to be done collectively. So,
Well, anyway, we're gonna dive into this thing head first, Lenny. Tonight we're gonna talk about this. But before, and the thing about it is, of course, like anything else, there's going to be varying opinions. Just like just now, varying opinions about how people feel about the overall viewpoint of this. From the 35,000-foot overview, people are going to see things a little different. I might see something, you might see something different. And so tonight we're going to talk about that in its totality. And I hope you guys, our audience, is ready to dive in with your opinions as well. Let's go, Len.
Absolutely. So, in light of what's going on, first of all, it was a mandate given, and I think this was like the 8th or 9th mandate about this war, about if and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not using the exact phrase, but Trump said that gave the Iranians until 8 p.m. tonight to comply with whatever his demands are, his personal demands. Sound like, I don't know if they're demands of the U.S. in general, but since he is the leader of the free world, it's kind of hard to believe me even saying that. But he said that by 8 p.m. tonight, if they didn't comply, that they were going to blow them to smithereens. Basically, they were going to be back into Stone Ages, and he was basically just going to, blow the country up, which I think, from one perspective, is somewhat of a war crime, to say one thing.
Not somewhat. It is definitely multiple war crimes.
Well, jump in, Arden. Go ahead.
No, but literally, I mean, when you start talking about the threat even prior to this 8 p.m. thing, he's actually threatened them with literal war crimes. It's a war crime for somebody to go in, or one country to go in and blow up the electrical grid of another country, transportation of another country. Those are war crimes. Like you blowing up schools, that's a war crime. But to actually, after said, alleged war crime that transpired with the children being blown up in the school, to actually come out and threaten somebody verbally with a war crime is absolutely the most asinine thing I've ever seen, or one of them, the top 5 as far as the president to come out and say to the mass on media. Like
so my question to you,
and record it and put it on online.
My question to you is, why did he tackle again? Basically, stands for Trump always chickens out. Why did he? I mean, what happened with him not carrying through with his demand to blow him up tonight?
Well, there were a couple of things. First of all, as always, in things like this, both sides are going to claim victory. Okay, that goes without saying. Both sides are going to claim victory. But basically, what has happened and what has transpired is that there's been a 2-week ceasefire, on which both sides are going to continue to negotiate. And one of the things that's supposedly going to happen is it's contingent upon Hamas opening up again to where the safe passage for ships to come through. That is not taking place at this point, but that's something they're negotiating on.
You mean the Strait of Hormuz?
Hormuz, that's not Hamas. Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, not Hamas, is going to be wants to be opened up, and it has not taken place yet. But that's something they're going to work on and see if it takes place. Iran is claiming victory because there's a 10-point plan for this. And Iranians said, yeah, we got you to agree to a 10-point plan. When you're saying you're going to bomb us right away. And of course, the U.S. is claiming victory because they're saying that, okay, they're going to do they're going to open up the Hormuz, that passage, which is not taking place yet. So both sides are kind of posturing as, yeah, we won. So that's the funny thing about it. Go ahead, I know you had something to say about that.
I will say one thing. I'm not sure if everybody's hearing it because it's definitely not in the media much, but you may have probably heard it also. The fact that certain ships are going through there, and they're actually paying Iran for safe passage through the strait. So not only did you not free it up, you actually gave them an opportunity to make more money on safe pass, basically taxing that passage, and also the oil has gone up 100%. So it's absolutely insane.
What say you? What say you, my friend, Mr. Reg?
Well, I think he backed out of it, or he's chickening out because, truth be told, he's just a chicken all the way around. I mean, he's one of those. I'm gonna just go with the flow. I'm gonna say this, but I hope nobody really reacts to what I'm saying.
What's that? What's that?
Well, I tell you, some markets are reacting definitely, and
Well,
definitely
I'll say this.
market manipulation coming up.
Yep. I'll say this much. I'm hoping that if there is some resolution to this overall, that it'll be helpful to us in the form of getting these gas prices back down. Because man, all that has had a tremendous effect on us. And anybody who drives for a living, or trucking industry, or if you just drive a lot of mileage to work, back and forth, whatever the situation, you've noticed a radical increase in the amount of money you've been spending on gasoline. And that not only on gasoline, but it has a trickle-down effect on goods and services as well. So it affects everything. It affects everything. And the long-range plan for the long-range forecast for gas was not looking very good. It was already up over $4, and they were talking about $5 to $6 gasoline. So let's hope and pray that this will be something that will lead to lower gasoline prices and oil prices overall.
I'm gonna just keep it real. I think that this war was highly unnecessary. It was not an imminent threat to anybody. It wasn't an imminent threat to us as a country. I don't even think it was an imminent threat to Israel, which was a narrative that was put out there. I don't think it was an imminent threat to them. And I think it's like, now that we in it, there's like no way out of it, because he's trying to hold on to it's a pride thing. Like, you talk all this smack,
Ego.
and now ego. Now you don't know what to do to get out of it, to save face with the American people.
Right.
Because you're supposed to be this big tough guy that talk all of this smack and, threaten people and all that. And you can't get out of this maintaining your persona that you put out there. Because it's going to take a bit of humbleness, because you effed up. You stepped in some doo-doo, and now it's on your foot and it stink everywhere you just step. And now you can't, you know what I mean? That stench is just following you around wherever you go. And I just think that it's going to be hard for him to get out of this. And he's holding the American public hostages, because we have to deal with the repercussions of what's going on in this situation, just because you want to be prideful. And I think it's shameful. I think it's one of the worst. I mean, he's done a lot of things, but this is one of the worst things that he's done. And I think that Congress has no spine. I think that the party that supports him has no spine. I think the people that are advocating, and I'm just going off on it, the people that are advocating and supporting this are just backing a bunch of nonsense and BS just because they want to be right. They don't want to be wrong. But if Obama did this type of shit, I would be in Obama's ass right now. I'm going to just tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I would be, he effing up. It's wrong. He made some key errors, and he should concede and because if you start messing with my lifestyle and everybody else's lifestyle in the United States just because of your ego, that's some BS. And I'm just keeping it real. Comments.
I just want to say this. We've talked about this, Lenny and Reggie. We've talked about this from the United States and from the Iranian standpoint, but we have not even included Israel's thinking and strategy, because they're a large part of this as well. They are co-partners with us in this conflict or war.
I think we're working for them.
What are their goals and objectives? Are their goals and objectives being met? Because I know even this morning they were still dropping bombs. And from what I understand, even listening right now, even though there's a ceasefire kind of announced, the sirens are still going off over in Tel Aviv, where some stuff maybe still happening. So is this just all for the media's sake, or will this take place where it stops from the U.S. end? But what about Israel? What is their thinking? There's a lot of unanswered questions here. No question about it.
No, I think they're very clear in reference to Israel. Israel wants them blown off the scene pretty much, and they definitely don't want them to have any nuclear war. They're really clear with that, because outright they don't like Israel either. They want them off. I mean, so it's just.
How does it end, Arden?
So this is the reason why nobody wanted to go over there. He tried to talk like he was the toughest man in the world. Yeah, no presidents would do this. Only me. No, you were only dumb. You were the dumbest one. You don't want them to do it because they listen to their intelligence, and the intelligence tell you, no, that's the swarm. That's the swarm of bees you don't want to mess with. Like that, not directly, and they've been indirectly messing with them for decades. So it's just ridiculous for them to go straight in. Now you're in a position where Russia is, where we were helping the country Russia was at war with, so we could deplete Russia's weaponry. Now China and Russia is doing the same thing with us.
Margaret says the same thing, Arden, that he keeps using the past presidents to try to make himself look good. Margaret is agreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But how does it end? How does it end, Arden and Reggie? How do we get out of this? Because the stock market keep going up and down. My 401k and my crypto keep going up and down, man. I'm mad as shiznick out here. Go ahead.
As you say, he just gotta swallow some humble pride and make peace with everybody.
Well, that would be the most advantageous thing, but from Trump's past, that's not something that comes easily to him. He wants to come out looking good at all times. He wants to come out looking good. He's the man who, remember, The Art of the Deal. He wrote the book, The Art of the Deal. And I will hope he wants to add this to some kind of way, twist this to me. I made a deal that worked. So that's why I'm interested to see how this thing really shakes out in the next 10 days. Whether conflict continues the next few days. If there's really if the ceasefire doesn't hold up. I want to see what happens in the next 10 days. Because I have a feeling this is far from over. I really do. Things over here are tenuous at best all the time. And it takes one little thing, one little spark, and we're right back at it again. And guys, whether people realize it or not, behind the scenes, as Arden talked about, Russia is propping up Iran. China is secretly propping up Iran. And we're going to spread ourselves out so thin that if we get bogged down in this mess over here, they can slip in the back door and do other stuff to us.
So what are you saying? They're supplying them weapons and all kinds of stuff? Okay.
Yes. If you do a little research on this, Russia, particularly Russia and China to a lesser extent, are supplying them with some things in this battle, which is crazy. And so it becomes like almost like a proxy war in a sense, Arden, if you know what I mean.
That's what they do. China, Russia, America, most wars. The guy said it was a gentleman that was in the intelligence committee. He was a career intelligence officer. He was like maybe 6 or 7 wars in the last couple of 100 years in Africa wasn't a proxy war that we didn't push buttons to start. And then you can spread that out around the world, because that's kind of how we've done it without being the ones going all the way in. He's not smart enough to make those moves, apparently. So now we're in it. But the thing is now that Iran was smart enough to kind of literally decentralize the whole area. They started shooting up at all of the allies we have around there. So now what he's getting pressure on is from all of the allies. So, you have to do something to stop this. And then you got so many businesses tied to movement through that area of the world, there you got businesses pushing on them about, yo, you're gonna have to do something to stop this. And that's what's gonna make it, either fold or take it escalate. One of the two.
Look, I want to say one more thing.
Like World War III.
I want to say one more thing about this Art and Lenny and Reggie and Art. And I want all of you to think about this. How do you think things would have looked had Trump gone forward with his plan to annihilate Iran as his threat was, which turns out at this point to be an idle threat?
This what would have happened. And Margaret said it. They would have retaliated against the United States.
Yeah, that's where I was going. That's just where I was going. What do you think would have happened had we just started bombing them at will? Would have been escalated to possibly a world war situation where Iran was being really propped up by some other countries then, and then because our allies, our so-called allies, have stayed on the sideline. They're like, look, I'm not getting in this mess. Would this thing have escalated?
We didn't treat them like allies, though. Before you throw the allies out there like that, if I've been talking about you badly and talking about your brother badly and talking about Greg badly and talking all kinds of crazy shit, excuse my expression, but straight up, that's what he's talking, crazy shit. I mean, he's our allies, and you talking like that to them. Now, I jump over there and we go to a party and I punch somebody in the face and then run all the way across. And while they chase me, hey guys, come on, get them. We gotta fight. No, we ain't gotta fight. We stupid ass ran over there and fought. No, like your ass anyway, because you talking dumb shit. Who you gonna help? I ain't helping them motherfuckers. Excuse me, you know what I mean? Who's gonna help them? That don't even make sense. I mean, would they say that in the neighborhood? What would you call somebody that did that? A straight what? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that's that.
But
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, and back in the day, we used to say they sell wolf tickets, and that's remember that term? Selling well.
All right, y'all. Well, look, we're gonna get up off of that. It's got to stop somewhere though, because I tell you, he's going to hell in a handbasket with the elections and everything else that's coming down the pike in a few months. That's not that far off. Election season is really hot and heavy, and the spineless people that are supportive of his party and are representing some states that don't push back on this and don't stand up to. It's poor leadership, is what it is. It's poor leadership, and it's egotism at its worst. That's showing through, and it's affecting millions of. It's affecting the entire world, not just the United States, and that's crazy. We look like damn fools. We look like fools, really. I mean, just telling you the truth. We look like fools in the world's eye. And it's like, how do you guys, first of all, do this, and why did you let that person keep getting away with that? It just looks stupid, man. I mean,
across the board.
Oh man. Anyway, let's keep it moving.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the Knight Brothers Show. Let's be honest, America used to seek weight loss with gym memberships and exercise, but these days we can now chase it with a prescription. If you haven't heard the names Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro by now, you might be the only one. These weight loss drugs didn't just enter the conversation, they took it over. Originally, these drugs were designed to treat diabetes, but once people noticed that serious weight loss could also occur, that side effect became the main reason people started using these drugs. They work by reducing appetite and slowing digestion, basically telling your brain you're full so you can put the fork down. For some folks, that message hits harder than any diet plan ever did. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Because celebrities, influencers, executives, everybody's using them. And in America, if it works fast and costs a lot, it's guaranteed to trend. But while some people are losing weight, others, like diabetics, are dealing with shortages. So this isn't just about health, it's about access and priorities. But as with most things, there's the good and the bad. Let's talk pros. These drugs can lead to real weight loss, better blood sugar control, and reduced heart risk. For some people, it quiets that constant food noise. But remember, the cons matter as well. There can be side effects like dependency, muscle loss, and the big question, what happens when you stop taking it? Another thing to consider is if eating habits don't change, the weight usually knows how to find its way back. Turns out you can't inject discipline into the bloodstream, at least not yet. So are weight loss drugs a miracle or a modern shortcut? The answer is somewhere in the middle. They're a tool, not a magic wand. Let me say that again. They're a tool and not a magic wand. They can help start the journey, but they don't finish it for you. Because losing weight is one thing, but keeping it off still takes lifestyle, consistency, and accountability. We want to know how you feel. Is this something you would consider? Do you think this is cheating to lose weight, or just a great tool to help those that struggle with being seriously overweight? This is food for thought. Excuse the pun. That's today's Knight Brothers perspective. We welcome your feedback because on the Knight Brothers show, your opinion matters. We value your input and encourage you to share your thoughts, questions, and suggestions. Whether you agree, disagree, or have a completely different viewpoint, we want to hear from you. Your participation helps shape the future content and ensures we're connecting with our audience effectively. We'll see you guys next time.
All right, we're going to get into it. And before Margaret said, she says, I need to hear more about Ozempic because I need to hear more about this because I'm on Ozempic. And she also says she's a diabetic. So before we say anything about this at all, I really want to preface this by saying, look, we are not doctors. We're not physicians. We don't even tend to play one on the show. You know what I mean, Reg? So but we will ask you that you strongly, particularly in this situation, strongly seek the advice of your medical physician or your doctor before you consider any advice or any commentary, not even advice, any commentary that we give on this show in reference to any medical issue and not just this particular one. But since this is such a trendy and really become a embedded part of the American culture as the way people live in a dietary aspect, we definitely want to put that out there before we say anything in reference to this subject. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at that. So now, look, before we go hard, I want to say this because people hear the word Ozempic, Wegovy. What's another one? Mounjaro. People hear all of those terminologies. That is the manufacturer of a brand, much like it's manufacturers of RC Cola, Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola. It's all these different companies out here that has their version of this thing. And it's a GLP-1, which what a GLP-1 is. Let me break this down for you before we get into this. A GLP-1 is, glucagon-like peptide. One, it's a hormone that's actually in your body that's, that regulates your intestinal cells and neutrons and brain stems and all those types of things, and regulating your blood sugar level and your insulin. And we all know that from fasting, we know that the longer you can suppress insulin, the more that your body taps into other aspects and can start to use your body's fat and your body's cells to feed itself, and then you lose weight. So this works in such a similar fashion to fasting, but it's a lot more to it. But I just want you to know that's what this thing does. It emulates GLP-1, and so let's start from there, Keith. Let's start from there with that premise, with that backdrop, with that information out there. Let's start with, you, Reg. Why does it feel like, in particular, these weight loss drugs and just popped up everywhere overnight? Because it feels like overnight. It's like everybody doing it right now. You know what I mean? I see people that was, big for years, and all of a sudden they little Charles Barkley now. He ain't big Charles Barkley no more. You know what I'm saying? Talk to me, brother. Talk to me.
No, talk to us, Reg.
So because once people started losing weight, real weight without living on a treadmill, world travel fast, and celebrity social media and big uh, pharmacies marketing, and suddenly America discovered a new miracle with a monthly refill.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
That's how they want it.
Somebody, Positive T asked, said, "Hello, Chad. I'm just tuning in. Are you guys on a GLP? We can kick that around the room too. Red, since you got the mic, you on a GLP, bro?
No, I'm not on one.
Okay, okay. I'm just curious.
No, but I know people that are like Reggie. I know our pastor is openly come out and said he's on one, and he's done Dr. Wainwright, and he's done an incredible job of dropping off some significant weight and getting healthier and feeling better. So I want to preface this by saying we're not saying that this can be a bad thing. We just want to give an overall account of what this can be, how it can be used.
Yeah, while we're talking about that, Q, is he significantly changing his diet and exercise plan at the same time?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just always want to say that when people start talking about the good effects of it, the fact that if you're not changing your lifestyle, like Doc is, changing what you eat, changing your habits and movement, then you're just addicted to another pill at that point in time. Because as soon as you pause or try to get off of it, if you continue to do what you've always done without that pill, you're going to be right back.
He's going to boomerang. You're going to boomerang. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very important to, create a lifestyle with that tool. You know what I'm saying? Choosing my words, really choosing my words, because that is a tool. And it's definitely helpful for people that have sugar, diabetes, but for everybody, if you're just taking it to lose weight, then, motivate yourself to change your lifestyle. But I know we got more questions.
Good stuff. On Q, what are these weight loss actually doing inside the body? Wait, break it down to us. Help folks out. And because we're not bashing anything. We're not saying right or wrong.
I'm not bashing it at all, because I think it can be a helpful and useful tool for people who really struggle. And we'll talk about that a little later. But what they do inside the body, it's like it tell your brain faster that you're full. It gives you that signal. Oh, I'm full. I can't eat anymore. I'm good. I don't need anymore. It slows digestion down. Okay. And it helps reduce your appetite. And when the combination of those things, if you're feeling full faster, it's reducing your appetite. You can consume less, and it slows down the digestion period. There's a tendency for you to eat less and consume fewer calories. And we all know that consuming fewer calories will ultimately lead to weight loss. So that's what's going on. That's the gist of how it works right there. Part of it anyway.
Can you answer Positive T said, well, okay, you guys are against the GLP community.
No, not at all. Not at all. Positive T, absolutely not. I don't want you to get that. I don't want you to feel that way at all, because I am certainly not against it at all. Because if you continue listening in, you'll see that in many ways this can be considered a great thing for people. So no, that is not correct at all. No, not against it at all.
All right. Nope. Were these drugs always meant for this? Were they always meant for weight loss?
No, not at all. Initially, they were, to govern your sugar diabetes or sugar sugar in your bloodstream. That's why you slowly digest, so it doesn't just dump all the sugar into your into your bloodstream. So no, it wasn't. It really wasn't. But the side effect became such an allure that people were like, man, I ain't worried about my damn bloodstream and my sugar, but I just want to lose 20 pounds. You know what I mean? Can I get into this bikini or whatever that thing is? So, I mean, come on, man. That's going to be the motivating factor. What it does do, though, I mean, in reference to, who was that, Pam that just had the comment for it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you must have missed the last couple of seconds we were talking about it's a great tool, because it is. Some people are at a point where they need to lose weight to move, or drop 20 to 30 pounds before they can really get out and start walking, really active, and get moving easier. And that's great for that situation. And then it also stops your sugar um, from peaking, because that causes so many other issues. So just to reiterate, no, we're not against it, but I just want to, not think that just the pill is the answer, because the pill is a great tool, as we stated, but you're the answer. And what you choose to put inside your mouth, and how you choose to move and exercise or whatever else, and how you choose to treat yourself. So you're the answer. This Ozempic or whatever version you look to connect with, that's the tool to get you to the self that you need to become. Q.
Ultimately, Arden, what you're saying, everything you're saying is absolutely correct. But ultimately, it comes down to you. You have a person for really, like I said, this tool is great. It can help you get lose significant weight and get healthier. But ultimately, you have to do this one thing, and that's to really, really change your way and your relationship with food. Okay, seriously, that's what it comes down. You have to change your relationship with food, how you consume food, when you consume food, and things of that nature. Because if not, you'll eventually go back to those old habits. And if you go back to those old habits, then eventually, over a period of time, you're going to have those same issues occur once again. So Ozempic and any GLP-1 is great and helping you to get to where you want to be initially. But changing that relationship with food is a part of it as well. It goes in concert with that. That's all I want.
Yeah, it's clinical trials started in 2001, I think, 2005 or something like that. Clinical trials when it was really a drug that was really based off of diabetics and that type of stuff, and then it evolved into a side effect was that they lost weight. So now
That's what it was.
I mean, so clinical trials started 20 years ago. I'm definitely not against it, because I am for anything, because obesity is a big problem. And obesity brings on so many other issues in one's lifestyle, particularly as we get older. So I'm not gonna say anything that makes somebody, lose weight, because you could go through a crack pipe and lose weight. You know what I mean? Yeah. But so I'm not saying, Reg, I'm not just saying I'm down with anything. You know what I mean? But I am for people losing weight, because it definitely helps in a lot of other ways. I mean, weight and inflammation and all kinds of things that can cause, hazards or situations in your body, shorten your lifespan and your quality of life more so over. So I am for using something that kind of helps you do that. What I want to caution against, though, is that everything is not for everybody. Mm-hmm. And some things are good for you, some things aren't. And, as a show, we just present both sides of the fence, and try to get people to think a little bit about it. If it's helping you, so be it. I'm great. I'm happy for you, and I don't want somebody to become dependent on something, because Alton said you are the answer. And I truly do know that. And I'm going to put this comment up there Margaret says, because, I support Margaret and for whatever it is, because she says I was doing a lot of diets, and when I started December exercise, I finally got my weight below 200 pounds and coming off some of my medicine. Hoorah is what I'm saying. And I had a better A1C, and that's what I'm saying. If it works for you, then great, because she had a situation that she couldn't beat, and she found a solution that helps her beat it. So I'm down with it. You know what I'm saying? Long term, we have to see. And some people take it too far, like these pictures right here. Let me go back to this picture. Some people take it too far, because it can start. making you look like this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
You know, with the shallowed out eyes and the skinny necks and the, you know, all of that type of stuff. And I'm not against that either. Because looks is just who you are as a person. Really is what it's all about. You know what I mean? You can be a good person that's fat. You can be a good person that's skinny. You can be a bad person in both ways too. You know what I mean? It's all about how you treat people and what's your reason, what's your why for doing whatever you're doing. So, but utilize it as best you can to help you accomplish your goals. I'll be down with it. You know what I mean? Arden, biggest benefits people seeing besides the obvious.
It's the obvious. It's the fact that they, able to drop that weight and control their sugar, because that is a huge situation in our community. Period. We kind of lead in that. But the other piece is stress. I mean, so it definitely pushes that whole situation, and in most of the diseases that we are affected by stress. But I think that the biggest thing is pretty much the effect that it has on sugar diabetes, because it definitely works there. And the other one is the weight that comes off that helps a lot of other things. But it looks like Q has something on the answer.
Yes, I just want to add to that one aspect we haven't touched on. Another benefit for that, for a lot of people, it's the mental aspect as well. It can help people feel better about themselves. Now, theoretically, it shouldn't, but it does. Some people feel better about themselves. There's a sense of accomplishment, and they feel like, oh man, finally got my weight under control. I've been battling this thing all my life, and I finally got this thing under control. So it helps them from a mental aspect as well. And that can be a great thing because that can spur them to growth in other areas of their lives.
Yeah, two statements support what you just said. Margaret said, helps my willpower. And I really like this comment that Positive T said, GLP is the disease of obesity and diabetes. Oftentimes, people don't realize that obesity is a disease. Perfect, right on, spot on. And also said that GLP actually helped with my alcoholism and diabetes, which is an amazing statement. I haven't heard it doing that before. But if it helped you with that,
that's a new one. Thank you.
If it helped you with that, shout outs to you. And, because that's what I'm saying. People have hidden situations that may be caused coming from being overweight and cause them to mentally, have all kinds of situations. So, I'm
those are additional benefits there. No question about it.
Andre.
Hold on. Can I let me just ask the person? Sorry, I didn't catch your name when they flashed it up. But
Positive T.
Positive T. Did it affect your desire for alcohol, or as you were losing weight, you just kind of, since you weren't hungry, you didn't kind of feel like you were going to drink, or how did that affect your alcoholism? Quick question. Just circle back, put a post up for us.
Because I could tell you one thing. If it helped you with alcoholism, that also helped you lose weight, because every time you drink alcohol has to burn out of your body's system before food will burn out, because alcohol is really a poison. Hate to say that, but it's true. You know what I mean? It is something that's foreign to your body. So when you drink alcohol, it's a poison to your system, and your body is trying to get rid of that as fast as it possibly can before the food. It will try to expel that out of your system, and then it will turn around and metabolize the food. So I can see how it helped you lose weight if you stop drinking as well. Reggie.
Not Andre, Reggie.
Yeah, sorry about that, Reg. But go ahead, Reg. You see the question regardless.
So the downside, oh no, I'm skipping. I'm sorry. They affect people in many different ways, leading to significant weight loss. But the biggest question is, do they work? It is what happens when you stop taking them.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I think that could be with anything. and I'm not gonna put it on GLP-1. What if you was fasting and you stopped fasting? What's gonna happen? You might gain some weight. What if you were taking GLP-1 and you stopped taking them? You're probably gonna gain weight. So I'm not gonna put that on GLP-1. I'm just saying if you was doing a protocol, whatever that protocol was, to help you stop smoking, stop drinking, lose weight or whatever, and you stopped or interrupted your protocol, chances are that you might have some slippage, or in the church they call that backsliding, Reggie, you know?
Right.
And that goes back to what I was saying.
Do we have anybody online or that's looking at the show right now that's taking it, or that has taken it and that has stopped or tried to stop? I just don't know if there's a, withdrawal kind of situation. Do you feel like a pull that you want to still take it? Is it addictive at all? Those would be my questions as far as that's concerned.
We had an answer, Arden, to your question from earlier from Positive T. Lenny, if you can put that back.
Please.
She said it stopped her desire for alcohol, and that's how I lost my weight, which is awesome, Positive T. I mean, it became something. Once again, it became something.
I'm gonna tell you, that's big time. That's big time, because you stop drinking helps a lot of situations. People don't realize. I mean, drinking is a social thing, and it's socially, used in many social settings to lighten the mood and, laughter and joy, and it's part of our culture. It's part of the world's culture as well. But I had to come to grips with drink. I was never a big drinker, but I had to come to grips with drinking when I studied, how it slows down so much on weight loss and so many other problems it causes. And I consider myself, Reggie, not an alcoholic, even though I had drank for 40 years. I consider myself Positive T. I was not an alcoholic, Positive T. But I drank because I drank light. I might have a beer here, maybe a glass of wine, but I would never drink in excess. But I would socially partake, and I wouldn't drink a lot during the course of the week either at all. But it does add up over time, and it does stop you from other things. It's an impediment to your health in a lot of different ways. That's masked because people don't think that they have a problem, and I didn't think I had a problem either until. It stopped on some of my goals and that type of thing. Didn't want to do the surgery, so this is helping me. The goal is to get off some of my medications. That's why I said shout outs to
Big ups.
almost whatever you have to use to get to that point. I'm down with it. Let me see what else you said. Ozempic. Now, there's different ones of this on Ozempic, Wegovy, and what's the other ones?
Jardiance.
Jardiance help me to work at losing weight and get off it. So, what are the best ones out there? Is it a manufacturer difference for those that and I'm speaking directly to Positive T and Margaret, since those are the viewers that are using it or have used it. Is it a particular one that works better for you or not, or in the public? Or Q, you wanted to chime in on it?
Well, no, I have no experience with it, but I can just, I would guess that those that have the biggest advertising budget, or you know how that works, have the biggest advertising budget, are the ones who will get the most play, because you see those commercials on TV repeatedly. So when someone wants to look into a product, rather than do due diligence in their research, they're gonna go there. They'll go back to what they see on TV. Oh, I heard about this on TV. So those are the leading brands probably, but there are lots of brands.
The leading brands.
The market is exploding. The market is exploding, and there's lots and lots of choices. But the name brands, because they're branded now, are probably the ones people gravitate to more at this point, I would say.
And Margaret and Positive T, can you give people a sense in your comments of, what's the cost and those types of things? Because it's not a cheap solution. And it's not an easily accessible solution, because from what I understand, Reg and fellas, is you have to have a prescription. You can't just walk into a pharmacy or someplace and say, hey, I want that got that GLPs, baby. You know what I mean? It's not one of those type of, on the corner thing. Got them GLPs.
No, but I understand that more and more. Well, I shouldn't say more and more, but some insurance companies are starting to cover that now. Not all, but there's some instances where your insurance company will cover that now in certain cases, which helps alleviate the cost factor for people. So.
That's right. Okay. And what's so funny that I'm not sure if people recognize some insurance companies will cover it for your sleep apnea. So if you have sleep apnea, they'll utilize that for it also. I guess they recognize if you drop 15, 20 pounds, you won't have sleep apnea no more because your tongue's just a little bit. You can breathe again. But it's definitely another option. So if you're not obese or whatever else, and you have that situation, you may be able to find a doctor that will get that for you for sleep apnea.
So,
Positive T, you got the comments right there. You want me to throw it back on the screen?
Which is okay.
Okay.
That's once again, that's one of the brands that have a pretty good advertising budget as well, because you see a lot of commercials for them. The ones I see the most on TV are Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Ozempic. And not only on TV, but other forms of advertising through social media, through all kinds of packaging, just media in general, radio spots, everything. Those are the ones I hear about more so than others.
Margaret said doctors will put you on anything to get you results, and she's right about that. And another comment says, my doctor wrote me a prescription because my A1C was, you was up there. Good Lord, you was definitely up there. That's why if you got your A1C down to where it is, I'd shout outs, because I'd much rather your A1C be down to a much manageable situation than you continue to use a GLP-1 and have it at 11.7, because that definitely was not a good scenario. So shout outs. And that's why I'm saying, do what you have to do to better your health. Margaret says people are just taking it to lose weight, and the diabetic couldn't even get it. My insurance company pays a lot, but it's also, I do have a small copay. So
that's what I'm talking about. Right,
that kind of helps folks.
Helps it more manageable. Be more manageable.
So, fellas, anything else? I know we jumped around and we didn't stick to script as much, but I think
it wasn't necessary to do so. But I do want to add that there is a target person for this, though. For any GLP-1, and some of the target people are people who have obesity-related health risk. If you're someone who, and we talked about that a little earlier, but people who have serious risk, this is a solution that can help get them on the road to better health, but it's not something that they want to depend upon entirely. Help get on that right road. And then along with that, modifications in your diet, adding exercise, which I'm a big proponent of, adding exercise to that, and creating a healthier lifestyle overall. So there are some target people for this. I know the trend now is just, okay, I'm 20 pounds overweight. Let me go get this Ozempic and burn this off. I don't know if should be the target person. It should be more for somebody who's seriously obese and is starting to have health issues. To me, that's the target person.
All right. As we wrap, what's your? I want to ask you and Reggie the same question, just to get varying opinions. What's your overall take?
So I'm like Q just said, like don't take this just because you try and knock off 5-10 pounds in the course of a couple of days to try to fit in a dress or try to fit in a suit, or as Arden said, summer is coming up. Try and get in that bikini or that bathing suit, And Lenny, you put it out there earlier. Talk to your doctor.
Yes.
Find out if this is the right thing for you to do. because Q had a good point. Because of social media and everybody like me, I started getting a subscription of the Rise Coffee because people talked about it, and I seen social media ads about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Did it work?
It does work. It does. It does. I will be honest. It does help with your helping you to think throughout the course of the day. It does help with weight loss and stuff like that. Um, but again, uh, like Miss Margaret Nitt said, um, it's all in your willpower.
Yeah, she did say that. It has helped with her willpower. And I'm so happy to hear that. And Margaret says, glad that the Night Brother Show visited the subject and other experiences help you understand what others are experiencing. Kudos to the show. Thank you, Margaret, for saying that. All right, I'm gonna flip it back to you, Reg. Thanks for the comments, but powerful viewpoints. All right, same question. Overall take.
I mean, it's a godsend for some people, and for those people, I salute because sometimes you just need something to push you forward, and it's almost like if you're on a walk and you done walked halfway and you turn a corner and then the wind is at your back. Sometimes you need that little extra push, and if that's that, then that's a beautiful thing. Um, and then all of the extra things that are good for you with that, it's great. With your sugar diabetes, the numbers going down, with your weight going down, and generally when you look better, you kind of feel a little bit more confident. That's why we used to always say healthy is the new sexy. So, I mean, I salute all of that, but my whole thing is that I know some people that are on it that don't exercise at all. And I know a lot of people, most people that I know that are on it, are exercising and are kind of focusing on their diet and trying to change their diet and everything else. And that's what I see, as the recipe. And actually, what the doctor is telling you to, even when you take this, make sure you eat quality food and exercise. So if you're doing what they say to do with it, then, it's a beautiful thing.
No
I
doubt.
just
Q.
am concerned about the people that look at it as just a pop a pill and I'm good. And some of them are still good, but you lose muscle with this, so you have to do some sort of
Yeah, it
weight
does say
return
one of the side effects that
because you do lose muscle with it.
lean muscle mass.
Very
You're right. Oh, absolutely.
lean muscle. That's what you need.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need lean muscle. So it's imperative that you do exercise with this.
GLP-1 does not
So
discriminate on what it makes you lose. It's just fat,
that's right.
lean muscle. It's just getting rid of shiznick. You know what I mean?
It's gonna eat.
So you have to be aware of that. But good points. Q.
And
No, go ahead. Are you not finished? Go ahead.
no, so I'm just saying because the negative effect of it is you not doing those things and it eating up your muscle and your fat. And if you're older, if you're 40 or plus, naturally at 40 and older, you also generally just lose muscle. You know what I'm
Margaret
saying?
said,
So
Margaret said
that's
she was walking to New York like Q and still was not losing weight.
that's right. I need you
Margaret,
to walk with him so you keep strong.
Margaret, let me tell you this.
With Pierre.
Let me tell you this, and let me tell everybody who's exercising. Exercise is good. It's a complement to your diet. You can't out-exercise a bad diet.
No,
You can exercise all, 20 hours out the day. But if you're eating wrong during them 4, sleeping a little bit in between, you still gonna be overweight. So you can't out-exercise a diet, a bad diet. So, and I'm not saying that you had a bad diet, Margaret. I'm just saying
in general, that's the
in general to everybody, you can't exercise. Q, last closing statements, and I got one, and then we're gonna get out of here.
Well, I just want to commend anybody who is bold enough and concerned enough with their health to if it made you move in that direction to try that and experiment with that. I salute you, but I do want you to keep in mind that there are things that go in concert with that. If you want to if you want this to be something that lasts for a lifetime, make those other differences in your life, such as straightening up your diet, getting your diet better, get into some small form of exercise, walking, what maybe dancing, whatever it is, but adding some exercise to the equation as well. And the main thing, as with anything else, consistency, consistent effort in anything, consistency in anything matters. So be consistent. Back to go ahead, Lenny. You can close this out.
No, I was just add in that, do whatever you got to do to get you started on your journey to a better healthful situation. Whatever you think that is. And I tell you this, your mindset over anything can get you tremendous results. Because my wife, she buys a lot of different equipment and all this type of stuff to exercise and everything. And she told me she started fasting. And she's been fasting, like now she's up to like 20 hours a day. And I didn't push it on it. I'm not pushing nothing on nobody, because you have to have your own personal journey, like Positive T and Margaret. You have to find what works for you. If you find something that works for you, God bless you. Find your way through it. Along your journey, though, start learning about things that are natural and God-given and the way that the body was supposed to perform, and start incorporating some of those things into whatever that got you started. You know what I mean? So, and if you can do that, like Q was saying, then you'll be on a better path long term. No quick fixes in life. No such thing as a quick fix, because then it's going to be a quick burn too. You're gonna build up and you're gonna break down just as fast as you ran up that hill. So I'm just telling you, find what works for you, and God bless you when you do that, and be a student of what you're doing to get to your results for your overall. Because I did a lot of things, man, and what I found for me, that fasting works, and when I get serious about fasting, I can have amazing results, like I'm starting to have now, just because. I drink these juices now. I started off my fasting journey drinking juices. I just wasn't intermittent fasting. I was juice fasting, which means I was drinking these juices any time of day, all day. And I felt full and satiated all the time because I had my juices. I got a couple different ones I got right now. Some are sweet, some are a little bit more tart. Some of them are designed for certain things. Some of it's ginger, some of them lemon, whatever it is. But it worked for me. So I know when I really want to lose weight, like right now, I'm a little bit of mission to do that, because I don't like carrying a lot of weight through the summer. I don't mind being heavy during the winter for some reason, but during the summer, I don't like it at all, So you be sweating and all kinds of stuff. So find what works for you. If GLP works for you, God bless you. I commend you. I salute you for finding a journey and getting on one. And that's what my statement is. All right? So, peace and love, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us. In the future, we got a great guest coming up from the board, right, Q?
Yes, sir. We have Dr. Mark Bedell, who's going to be joining us in a couple of weeks. But next week, we're going to have our special show, our special NBA show, NBA preview show, NBA playoff preview show next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to tune in for that, because we're going to have some fun with that, and we have some special guests who are going to be joining us for that. So
I want to say shout out to Reggie, too, for joining us tonight. Thanks, Reg.
Thank you, Reggie.
Y'all said thank you to Reggie. Audience said thank you to Reggie. Oh, and Saturday, Reg, where are we at, Reg? Tell the people what we doing Saturday.
Oh, Saturday, we are in Annapolis. We are doing the Martin Luther King Parade. Kicks off at 12 o'clock. Please come out, support the Night Brothers. Meet us there, beat us there, however you got to do it.
No doubt, and it's for the community. It's a Martin Luther King birthday parade, which is held annually. A lot of good fun and for a good cause. And come on out and celebrate your city and a great cause. And followed by that, there's a whole lineup of entertainment. My band is playing on there. Shine Band is playing on there. We got Mooney Day singing on lead. Y'all like Mooney Day, great voice. Mooney Day, 80-some years old. He's still kicking it, man, with the energy. You got Clones of Funk that's going to be out there. You got Cover 360 Band. You got the young boy Josiah out there going to be kicking it. You got Junkyard Band. There's a lot of good entertainment that's going to be on that show after the parade. So come on out and check that out. They're giving it up for you, Reds. They're giving it up for you, baby.
I appreciate it.
All right, y'all. Time. Vanessa, the parade starts, I think, like
At noon.
and then right after.
Yeah.
And then right after the parade, that's when the entertainment is right on the same corner of West Street and something or another. It's a block away from Asbury Church and First Baptist Church.
Calvert, Western Calvert.
On Calvert. Okay, thank you, Reg. Helping the brother out. So, yeah, it's going to be great. Shout outs to, I'm going to give a special shout out tonight to Margaret Nick and Positive T. Everybody.
Yes, indeed.
Everybody. All right, Q.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All right. I know we ran long, Q, but it's all good.